iceberg? Titanic learned that the hard way. 10%. Yeah, 10% or less than that is above. So the majority of the iceberg is down here. If you're working in a zero-sum environment, you're only above top of the water level. So that means you're only negotiating on a few items. If you want to move into partnership or smartnership, you have to develop a huge amount of variables, and by doing that, you're suddenly discovering a lot of different variables that will create the potential of Negoeconomics. I'm just going to talk about contracts for a second, because there's been doing some intensive studies on contract and why they're pretty bad. And one of the things we got as a contract or as a negative thing as a contract is actually studied by something called the Neuromarketing Institute in the US. They have actually identified, researched, and concluded that the bigger the contract, the worse outcome for the two parties. And the shorter the contract, the better the outcome for the two parties. Isn't that fascinating? Now what they're saying basically is, if we are sitting with a major big contract, the two parties involved in a bigger contract are more focused on the legal stuff and less on trust and relationship, which gives them a worse outcome than if they were doing a tiny contract, not focusing so much on the legal stuff, but where they were forced to lean more on relationship and trust. So relationship and trust is what they're basically saying, outperforming the legal stuff. And we would therefore, as a result, create a better outcome. So when we are talking about the value in here, it's basically all about moving into the right strategy and creating the trust and the relationship. When we're working in zero-sum, you'll see that we are almost in minus on information. That means the two parties are not sharing a lot of stuff. And what we're also seeing is the trust level is pretty low. Okay? Nobody's really trusting each other. When and if we move into partnership, we are definitely increasing the information level. More information is being shared between the two parties, and the trust level is increasing as well. And if we move into the third one down here, we see that the smartnership is increasing information level as well, and the trust level is being improved as well. And then we have a fourth stage that I'm not sharing with you today. And what would the fourth stage be in a strategy in collaboration? What would that be? It's not merger acquisition. That will be the fifth stage. We have a stage before this one. That would be a strategic alliance. So I'm just giving you a tool in a minute how to identify and work with this strategy here. Have a look at this quadrant up here. This is basically a very simple quadrant that is discussed in the book as well, because this is basically our strategy assessment matrix that is helping and supporting our client to identify their approach into a collaboration. It works the following way. The higher you move up on this one,